Hello and welcome into the newest episode of Pat's Latest. I'm your host, Mike Gambardella, and the first round of the NFL draft is complete. The Patriots did indeed make a pick at number 4 in the NFL draft, avoided the trade up or trade down scenarios, and now we'll be back on the clock to start the second round later on this evening with the third round immediately following. Before we get into the pick and everything else, make sure you go down and subscribe for our channel. Get in the comments and let us know what you think about the Patriots night one of the NFL draft. Give us a like if you like what you hear, and make sure you go back and check out our other episodes after this one. We start indeed with that number 4 overall pick, and the New England Patriots, to no surprise, did go left tackle, went with the best offensive lineman in this class in spite of some knocks on him throughout the process. But Will Campbell, the standout from LSU, is indeed a New England Patriot, and Drake May has his blindside protector. It took 3 months for the Patriots to put a check mark next to one of the most important positions for this team with a young quarterback, but in the end, they end up getting a long term solution at a priority position and one that can grow with Drake May. This is an absolute Mike Vrabel pick. Vrabel, as soon as he was picked, went on to the Zoom call for the media and talked about how Will Campbell is a young player who cares deeply about the team, is a leader in the room, and that they love his football character. At the end of the day, this was a very easy pick for the New England Patriots. New England Patriots. There were some questions as if they could have gone, Mason Graham, who went right after the Cleveland Browns, who ended up trading down from 2. Ashton Genty, who went to the Las Vegas Raiders, again, would have been an addition for that room and a weapon, but if you're unable to block and open holes, it really just did not make sense. Another great story that came from it was that the Patriots actually did make a trip out to LSU, kind of a final job interview for Will Campbell, which he absolutely aced, and actually in drills with Mike Vrabel ended up knocking him down through the drills and potentially could have been the final check mark that needed to happen for Will Campbell to be that selection. I think a player that a lot of fans will be able to get behind, and one that will, in the end, be best for Drake May, which is what the Patriots need to prioritize moving forward. Additionally, Mike Vrabel did reveal that while the Patriots were open to trading the draft pick, that there were no official offers that came in from that spot. Looking at Will Campbell a little bit closer, there was some questions on if he is a tackle or a guard. Mike Vrabel quickly and mildly surprisingly so gave a definitive answer on the question, saying, yeah, that's where, he started, and that would be the tackle spot. He's a left tackle, period. That's what he's played, that's what he's done. And so he'll come in here and he'll compete to be the left tackle, just like everybody else is going to compete for their spots. Again, a very definitive answer by Mike Vrabel. Expect Will Campbell to win that job, beating out Venarian Lowe and Caden Wallace, who will likely become a battle for them for that swing tackle role. I would not be surprised to see one of them not make the roster based upon what we've seen from Mike Vrabel do. There's going to be a lot of changeover. Would not be surprised if there are some trades and cuts left to be had here. But at the end of it, Will Campbell will be that left tackle for the New England Patriots, and it will open up a competition at that left guard spot as well. Expect Cole Strange, the former first-round pick from UC Chattanooga, to get the first crack at it. Layden Robinson, obviously, and C.D. Sau in there as well. But do not be surprised if the Patriots actually add an interior lineman potentially as early as the third round here as well, as they continue to build a wall in front of Drake May and hopefully open up some running lanes both for Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson, as well as potentially the addition of a third running back to the mix, which the Patriots could, again, as early as tonight, as the start of the second or third round. There's going to be many different running backs available, and we'll actually get into that now with looking at the best available players that are left at the start of round 2 here. Again, it's both second and third rounds for Friday night now in the way that the NFL breaks this up. So there will be 3 opportunities if the Patriots do not make any additional moves to add 3 players to the mix. There are 2 top players still available at the top of the board, and would not be surprised to see them go. And that would be Will Johnson, the cornerback from Michigan, who has some injury concerns around him, which has really knocked him down. He was a top 10 pick coming into this draft. So being able to add a cornerback of that caliber, should he still be there at 36 when the New England Patriots select, would be an absolute shoo-in. I think he ends up going in the first couple picks off the board. People have waited out the first round investment and will quickly snatch him up. That will probably also go for Marshall defensive end Mike Green, who again should have been a top 20 pick but slides out of that first round. And again, as Mike Vrabel continues to put his stamp on it, get many more pass rushers into the system, could be an opportunity to select him. But again, I think unless the Patriots move up from 36 to get to maybe that, I should say 38, not 36, get up to that 33, 34 mark, it may be difficult with these players quickly coming off the board. A lot of people are talking about running backs and wide receivers, but I think at this point, especially at the top of the second round, you're looking at upwards of 10 wide receivers and 10 running backs that can be impact players. Now, yes, there are varying degrees of where they fall, with Trayvon Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, both coming from Ohio State, with Luther Burden, a personal favorite of mine, Jalen Noel, being up at the top of the wide receiver conversation. I think because there are so many of them, do not be surprised if Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf prioritize other positions to start the second round. And two names to keep an eye on would be Darius Alexander, the defensive tackle from Toledo, who has wowed throughout this process. And I think, again, gets knocked down because he is a smaller school of prospect, but one that absolutely could get into that rotation with Christian Barmore and with Milton Williams and form a bit of a wrecking crew inside, which would fit the MO of exactly what Vrabel and Elliott Wolf are trying to do. If they look to push off of that interior defensive line, don't be surprised if it's Nick Scourton from Texas A&M, who would check the box next to the edge. Again, Mike Green as that top option, but if he's off the board, Scourton could be that next one up that fits very well here for the New England Patriots. Finally, if the Patriots are looking at that wide receiver spot at that number 38 pick, there is a report floating around that there could actually be one that sits above everyone else. It would happen to be ESPN's top-ranked remaining wide receiver, which could complicate the matter, but The Athletic is reporting that Iowa State wide receiver Jaden Higgins is actually the target that the Patriots would be going after. Jaden being a bigger prototype wide receiver that a lot of people are targeting. The Athletic report goes on to say that one option they've considered, according to a team source, is Jaden Higgins in the second round at 6'4", 214 pounds. He also ran a 4.4 40, 4.47 to be exact, but that's the kind of height, weight, speed profile the Patriots currently do not have on the roster and would check a big-time box for all of those things. Again, Luther Burden would be on the smaller side at 6 feet and has some smaller hands, but has not had issues actually catching the ball, but it has some other question marks around it. Either way, I think Higgins would fit all the profile. Burden would fit of a top prospect coming in at that spot. But again, for me, I think do not be surprised if the Patriots pass on wide receiver at the second round and then start checking those boxes, potentially wide receiver and running back in the third round. If they actually wait on one more, expect them to pass on running back again and looking for that backfield option receiving for Josh McDaniels to be the option later on in the NFL draft. That'll do it for us on this episode of Pat's Latest. We'll continue to bring down everything that comes from the NFL draft and let you know who the newest Patriots are and how they fit into the scheme for Mike Vrabel and company. Again, as always, make sure you go down and subscribe for our channel. Get in the comments and let us know what you think of the picks and what the next ones should be. Give us a like if you like what you hear, and go back and check out our other episodes to get to everything for your New England Patriots. Fight on, Foxborough.